Φίλες και τηλεθεατές, καλώς ορίσατε στο Εξαφορμής, εδώ που σήμερα μαζί με τον Οζ Καραχάν, υποψήφιο βουλευτή, μαζί με το κίνημα Λόγος σε εργασία πολιτών, θα συζητήσουμε για το θέμα των ημερών. Για την εκλογή Ερχιουρμάν, ναι, εντάξει, φίλοι μου το ξέρουν, είναι Ερχιουρμάν, ναι, εντάξει, αλλά πέρα από τους αστεισμούς, τι ακριβώς συμβαίνει με την επόμενη μέρα, από αυτόν το σημείο γυρίζουμε στα αγγλικά. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, I like very much this when we have some of this English speaking. First of all, I practice my beautiful Cyprus English, yeah. Yes. And secondly, I always start with the intro in Greek, and then I say, okay, now we'll speak. I mean, okay, I think this might be one of the problems if we ever come to a solution.
I don't think so. I mean, we already have a state that is the Greek and Turkish is the official language. And unfortunately, our generation doesn't know Greek. Our grandparents were talking Greek. Most of them had as a mother tongue. And since we're fighting for the liberation of our island and to live without any foreign power on this island, we have to find a way. That's the thing.
Okay. I just hope this to be the only problem. Exactly. We're going to solve it, yeah?
Exactly.
All right. Also, I'd like to, it's very interesting to have this discussion. Because many people, they start talking about what's the day after Erhürman's election, and I have the impression, because I don't consider myself that I know everything what's going on in the situation, but I have the impression that most of the people, they just copy paste what other people says, and it's going to be very interesting if you follow the trail what is going to bring actually who actually writing the thing and everybody copy paste. So, my first question is, Erhürmán was elected as the president of the so-called Turkish Republic of North Cyprus, or he's elected as the leader of the Turkish Cypriots?
This is a very important question, because we say that, and in our party's statement underlined that these elections are not legitimate elections, because these elections are done in the occupied area under the name of the so-called president of the pseudo-state. And that's not the only problem. Also, most of the so-called voters are illegal settlers. So, as a state, we don't, of course, recognize the pseudo-state. And of course, we see officially the illegal settlers as a crime against humanity and war crime in Cyprus. Then how come we, as a state, recognize these elections and give it a different name, like a community leader of Turkish Cypriots? This is oxymoron. This doesn't work. I mean, this is a paradoxical situation. Our people needs to know about this. These elections are not legitimate.
You know, maybe it's going to sound naive, the question, but I remember we have an interview lately with Aziz, and I skip my son, the Shah. Aziz Shah is very interesting. Actually, I asked him, where is come the Shah? Good morning, Aziz. So, and I asked him about this, and they say, I don't think there remain too many Turkish Cypriots anymore. And he gave some numbers that were very shocking. He was talking about around 1 million, even more, settlers in the occupied area, and an amount of 150,000 of Turkish Cypriots. So basically, I'm sure you know, who voted in these elections?
Let's tell the numbers. I mean, the so-called voters, number of the so-called voters were 220,000. We know that. So
220,000.
220,000. Keep that in mind. And we know, because of the, Turkish Cypriots has Republic of Cyprus citizenship. And the Republic of Cyprus declares the number of the Turkish Cypriots. And recently, our state said that the number of Turkish Cypriots who has the Republic of Cyprus citizens and who's above 18 years old are around 100,000. And we don't know how many of them are living in Cyprus already, because most of them are already left as well. So, but let's accept that 100,000, like 18 years old above Turkish Cypriots are in Cyprus. Still, you have the answer. Most of those people who voted on those so-called elections are clearly illegal settlers.
So except of the thing that basically there are not elections, etc., even on the ground, even with the realities, they voted mostly settlers.
Exactly, and this is so unbelievable and unacceptable that Republic of Cyprus government is legitimizing the occupation and colonization. It's unbelievable, but this is happening.
Yeah, but you know, and the same, somebody can also ask you or claim that, okay, I understand what you say, but from the moment that the president of Cyprus Republic, from the moment that all the presidents of the main parties in Cyprus, to be honest, I felt them like we won or something. I don't know what we won, and they were, most of them, they were so excited that Erhurman was elected, and it was like, now okay, everything, you know, it reminds me so many cases in the past, all this scenario. So why you think the leaders of the political parties and the president in the Republic of Cyprus, they are almost, okay, not excited, but they're very optimistic?
First of all, we have to understand that, and I think our people understand that the political elite, I'm talking about starting from the two big parties and their minions, the smaller versions of them, are exist because the status quo exists. So they love the status quo, they love the occupation, they build their careers on this occupation. And of course, they are happy with these so-called elections, and other things came with the occupation. About their statements, of course, I read most of those statements, and it's unbelievable. Some of them are because of ignorance, I can say clearly, but some of them, I know very well that they know what does this mean, and they know personally who's Erhurman, and they are making those statements. If you want me to give an example, I can give you an example. I mean, one of them, 2024 September, in an organization called Socialist International, as you know, Erhurman's party is part of this Socialist International. No. And in September, they invited Aker as a guest, as a visitor to this meeting, Socialist International meeting. Erhurman was sitting next to Stefanos Stefano. Stefanos Stefano was his guest. Of course, guest had time to speak, and Stefano mentioned in his speech occupation. Just that word, he mentioned that. Erhurman asked for the microphone. It wasn't his turn, and he said that, I reject this term. There is only one occupation in Cyprus, and that's the occupation of Republic of Cyprus by Greek Cypriots. And Stefanos Stefano didn't talk about anything, you know, like after that.
He didn't react.
He didn't react. So, you know that the illegal settlers elected a dangerous person like that. You tasted to be next to him, and you are still celebrating that. So nobody can tell me that this is because of ignorance. The only explanation for this, that you want the show must go on, you know, the perspective. For them it's a show and it must go on. But for us, for ordinary Cypriots, if this masquerade continues, we are not going to have a homeland to live in.
Yeah. Actually, it's not the show must go on, the status quo to go on, basically, to make a paraphrase of the thing. So, what are the main political and social messages conveyed at Erhurman? I mean, for the occupied area.
Yeah. First of all, Erhurman is, I always say, is not a new personality. He entered politics, active politics, in 2013, and he is the head of the political party that he is leading since 2016. And we know him very well. We know his points of view very well. He is a person, which is a rare case, who even worked within the Turkish state. He was working between 1999 to 2004 within the Justice Ministry of Turkey in Ankara. His positions were consistent, and in his election campaign he reflected their positions. What are those? He said over and over that federation, confederation, names doesn't matter. And he said that even if I sit and talk with Tataar, we will realize that we are talking about the same thing. He says this. He said that the guarantorship of Turkey is undebatable. It's my red line. There is no gonna be debate about the guarantorship of Turkey. He said about in these elections, of course, the Turkish Cypriots are the very little portion of these so-called voters. So he offered imaginary Republic of Cyprus citizenships to illegal settlers. Basically, every single day when he talked on the television and in his the demonstrations meetings, he said that to illegal settlers, you voted in Annan plan and you voted yes, and next day if the Greek Cypriots voted yes, you were gonna be citizens of the Republic of Cyprus. Right now I'm gonna fight for your citizenship and I will make you citizens of the Republic of Cyprus. Crazy. Crazy.
He offers something that he can actually do.
Exactly. I mean, these are the surreal things, and every single day we heard those things. Generally, but again, his campaign's most important point was what he told next to Stefano. He said that every single day, Republic of Cyprus is under occupation of the Greek Cypriots, and I'm gonna fight for that, I'm gonna change that. About the hydrocarbons, it's very important, the energy. He mentioned that Limassol and Paphos thing, if you remember. He said that I'm gonna be president of Limassol and Paphos as well, because over there, if there is some resources, energy resources, we have our share too. The difference between Tataar and Erhürman, is here. Tataar was saying that let's divide Cyprus, half of is yours, half of is mine. Okay, this is a very dangerous idea, we fight against that. But Erhürman says that let's divide Cyprus, half of is mine, half of is yours, but half of yours is mine too. So he's gonna start a policies with this perspective, with a maximalist perspective, and I'm afraid that that is gonna create a distance between Cypriots, because of also the reason that our ignorant politicians as well, they promoted this person as a peace-loving person, which he is not. He's a Turkish nationalist in reality. And tomorrow when he starts talking these things, what he always told, then I'm afraid that, for example, Greek Cypriots might think that even the Turkish Cypriot peace-loving person talks like this, then what we are discussing. So, but they have to know that this is not a peace-loving person. This is a Turkish nationalist, a person who worked for the Turkish state at some point. And yeah, this is.
Yeah, but you know, the people that you call them peace-loving, basically all the people are peace-loving. You mean the people that they want the solution, whatever solution, that's how we call it. Yeah, okay. Because I noticed from this group of people, their approach is like. Or their rating, of course. It's like, you know, now that Erhιουρμάν was elected, Erhιουρμάν, he's a peacemaker. Erhιουρμán is exactly the opposite of what you described, by the way. So right now, it's on us, and this is going to be, and Christodoulidis is going to be blamed, and the Greek Cypriots is going to be blamed, and the Cyprus Republic is going to be blamed if we don't come, if we don't move. You know, I'm so tired to listen to this, to begin the negotiation from where they left it.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's a mantra, this thing. All right, so basically you see that it started building an atmosphere around the subject that, okay, Erhιουρmán is come here, Erhιουρmán have all the willingness, and because Christodoulidis and the Greek Cypriots, they didn't want to move on and everything, so right now is opportunity. And I think this is the most dangerous for everything you describe.
Definitely, definitely. I always say to politicians, to academics, to political analysts, etc., in the free areas of Cyprus, you have to know what is Turkey. I mean, like, I'm not saying you have to know Turkey. You have to know what is Turkey, because Turkey has a very structured state ideology and aims. And for Cyprus, it uses always the same patterns and same strategies. It doesn't need to change when there is no some intelligent people in front of you. You don't need to change your strategy. Let's think about what happens. We had Denktaş, a, let's say, bad cop. Next one was Talat, right? Good cop.
The good boy. No.
He was very good with, he was the best of Erdogan, by the way. Talat is the same political party as Erhürman.
And the beloved from Akel.
Yes,
the beloved from
exactly.
Akel.
Sister party of Akel.
Yeah.
Bad cop, good cop. Who we had next? Eroglu. Again, bad cop.
Yeah.
Who we had next? Akinci. Good cop.
The best of the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who we had next? Tatar. Bad cop. And who we have now? Good cop.
I never thought about this.
Simple, very simple. I mean, this is the mathematics. I mean, of the thing.
Right. It's like what, you know. It's like okay. So, what about Turkey now? Because everybody says and mentions and claims that, you know, the solution it's on Turkey's side, etc., etc. So, how Turkey reacted to Erhürman's election? I mean, what do you expect? How you expect to develop this? Because he makes some statements before he met with Erdogan that you know, I'm come here. You need to realize that Turkish Cypriots, etc., etc., etc. Yeah.
In these elections, so-called elections, Turkey, Erdogan made his signal to the settlers. He said a month ago, I guess it was 2 months ago,
Yeah.
vote whoever you want because the Cyprus policy is not going to change. So this was a green light for settlers to vote for Erhürman. And we know that Turkey and Erhürman has a very good relationship anyway. And Erhürman over and over repeated that during his campaign as well. Of course, Turkey sent some individuals, very unpopular individuals from the party of Erdogan to Cyprus to intervene and support Tatar, but actually their support, these are very mafiatic people, mafiatic politicians, by the way, hated even in Turkey. That actually helped Erhürman as well. So Erdogan and his party basically worked for Erhürman as well, with sending those mafiatic, very hated people to Cyprus to be standing next to Tatar. And next day of the election, Erdogan congratulated Erhürman, and he was looking quite happy about that. So I think everything at this moment is going according to what Turkey planned. And in the first statement of Erhürman, I don't know if many people hear about that, but he underlined that nobody should worry. He said this word. Nobody should worry. I will act according to Turkey. I will act in cooperation with Turkey. Nobody should worry. So we have a situation like that, but a great situation for Turkey right now to create all the environment for being again maximalist, having maximalist policies.
Are you expecting that we're going to, okay, now they start the meetings, the contacts, and let's prepare for the next meeting, for the next negotiation, whatever. Do you really expect that something's going to happen?
No, because Erhürman is also architect of one very, very dangerous perspective for the negotiation table. He's an architect of I'm sorry, most ridiculous perspective for the negotiation table. He says that I have one precondition for negotiations. If this time it doesn't work, we are not going to go back to status quo. Meaning that if this negotiation period doesn't work, I want to put a precondition that the two-state or something else will be recognized. What kind of negotiation is this? I mean, like, of course, personally, I never believe in these negotiations. For me, Cyprus is not divided, it's occupied. So the solution is not reunification, it's liberation. But let's keep that aside for one second. You cannot sit on a negotiation table and say that if this is not gonna work, we are going to go back to a two-state solution or something. That's not a negotiation, that's a blackmail. That's a that doesn't work with it. But that's his precondition, and he's going to talk about that as well. And he already started talking about that. He says that for me, the name of the solution doesn't matter. It could be federation, it could be confederation, or it could be something else. So he is making right now these positions for many years in the occupied area, and he's going to reflect that in this negotiation table. He has a different character than the previous ones, and that's one of the dangerous things, is that he is aggressive. He has aggressiveness as well, and soon, very soon, the Greek Cypriots and politicians will see that, because he doesn't like to hide that as well. He talks very aggressively, and when he talks towards the against the Republic of Cyprus, he talks in a way that he generalizes and he attacks all Greek Cypriots or everybody who lives in the free areas. He has a way of talking like that. So with this narrative, with this perspective, I don't see that something can happen from a negotiation table. I don't believe anything can happen anyway, but that will be very destructive 5 years.
You know, it's a type of negotiation how it was happening Far West. Sitting on the saloon table, you put the pistol on the table and say, now let's talk. If we don't come to some agreement, it's okay. Yeah, that's the thing. All right, very good. You know, let's think out of the box for a second. Of course, I understand for Cyprus, probably your point of view, it's liberation, people, Turkish to about Cyprus, etc., etc., etc. But let's think a bit out of the box about the strategy that I really believe, and I mentioned many times here, that we lack of strategy, the Greek Cypriots. Let's say that you elect president. Anyway, now you're going to be elected an MP. The next, in 28, maybe you're going to be elected as a president. Let's say that you elected president. What is going to be your strategy?
The strategy is very simple. I mean, I always say small countries like ours, we don't have big militaries, big armies, and we don't have robust economies. And small countries are like us has two tools, which is one of them is international law. Second one is diplomacy. Diplomacy is double way. The people's diplomacy and also the state-to-state diplomacy. But the international law is very important to push Turkey in the corner, as we are kind of doing right now because of the initiative of the citizens with putting all those construction company owners under pressure and putting them in the jail to fighting against the colonization. Actually, today is the day that the Simon Aykut, the Turkish-Israeli construction owner, who built 10,000 houses on the Greek Cypriot properties. 10,000 houses means, if you think that a household of 40,000 illegal settlers. Person who's responsible for that, today the head prosecutor made an agreement with him, and probably they're going to let him go very soon. Maybe to Israel, maybe after a few months they're going to let him free. Anyway, this was a parenthesis. What in the politics we have to do, use the international law to pressure Turkey, because it works. It works. When you put one person in jail, one usurpation, one occupier, one person who commits the war crimes and the crimes against humanity, then colonization stops. Things are easy like that. So that is the way to do. National strategy that I always talk about is the use of these two elements. Unfortunately, right now we are not using those things. Unfortunately, right now we have a president who underestimates that. I am very shocked when I hear a president of a country goes to a television and underestimates the international law. What does President Christodoulos say every day? International law doesn't matter anymore because we are living an anarchistic world order, a childish term that nobody used in this world, anarchistic world order. We don't live in an anarchistic world order. We are living in a multipolar world order. And small countries like us who can take really advantage from this multipolar world order. But instead, we are acting like a semi-colony and protectorate of a bloc. And this bloc is where the US and Israel and all those countries who are have part in the occupation of Cyprus are in. And it's the worst thing that you can do in a multipolar world order, because in multipolar world order you have to work with the different blocks and you need to create a multilateral relations. Again, we are doing things wrong. Again, when we talk in the United Nations General Assembly, we are talking to the empty seats. Again and again and again, because of these mistakes. We don't have a national liberation strategy, and we are underestimating the international law and real diplomacy, public and people's diplomacy for the fight of our cause. That's what I would do, these two things.
Yeah, but actually all the parties in Cyprus, most of the parties, they say that what exactly they want, what they think is a solution for the Cyprus problem. Communal, bilateral, I really lost in the terms. So basically, somebody can ask you that, or can claim, or can debate, all right, and from the moment that all the political personnel of a country, they believe and they say that this is the way to go. And now you're telling me that no, this is not the way to go, but we need to stop negotiating, not stop negotiating, we need to change our story about, or our vision, or our aim about the solution. This is not danger.
It is not dangerous at all, because that bizonal, bicommunal federation that is the political parties like to talk is already dead. It is dead. And actually, I say one thing about Erhürman. Erhürman, some people say that he's a dove, some people say that he's a hawk, and I call Erhürman vulture. And he's gonna eat and finish that bizonal, bicommunal federation idea in these 5 years. But it is already dead. And I don't need to hesitate to talk about that, because I already tell in many places. When Angela Holguin came to Cyprus, the personal envoy of the Guterres, the first time when she came, after 6 months she worked in Cyprus, meeting with the political parties, meeting with the NGOs and civil society. Last day he wanted to meet with Sener Levent and I. Last day she was gonna go to the plane, and we sit and we talk 2 hours, almost 1.5 hour, 2 hours. Over there we say to her, you know that bizonal, bicommunal federation is dead, right? And she said, yes, I know. And we said that, you know that Turkey doesn't want any kind of solution, including the two-state solution. You know that? She said, yes, I know. And, and we said that, you know that people don't want you here as well, that you came here, right? And she said, yes, I know. And I don't want to be here as well. I have a very nice house. I have a very nice garden. And I want to go there, and I'm going to go there today. So this is the situation. This last part, I didn't tell anyone. Here I'm telling there. And probably I'm going to write a book about that conversation, 1.5 hour conversation, because that was a life-changing moment for me. That because she came here 6 months, she got tired of these people who talk about bizonal, bicommunal federation day and night, and don't do anything and take advantage of the status quo. She said these things. She said directly these things to us. And she was full, and she over there probably wanted to open up and say these things. And one more thing I want to say. This person probably will be there's a chance that next General Secretary of United Nations. Her name was, when Guterres elected, her name was also one of the candidates. Next United Nations General Secretary will be probably woman, because of the political correctness and many other things. And I give a huge percentage that she will be the one. And think about that, a person who said these things will be the UN General Secretary.
Excellent, excellent. You know, many people, they say, let's talk about Trump and his impact, or the way he is behaving in the world order. Many people, they say, we wish that we stay below the radar of Trump, because maybe Trump, you say, is going to come one day, the same way how he went to Gaza and he bring what a show was that? He bring 20 people. I mean, seriously, if I was a prime minister for the UK, or the president of France, or the chancellor of Germany, is sitting behind like a puppet. You know, you are my backstage. When I say you jump, you jump. When I say you sit, you sit. When I say you clap, you clap. When I say you smile, you smile. And they will just be there. Yes. All right. So, back to my statement. So many people say, let's hope that we're going to be under his radar, because if he set an eye on the Cyprus problem, maybe he's going to solve it in a way that we never imagined.
In a negative way. I mean, like, it could be. I mean, it is so funny. I mean, the meeting that you mentioned that happened in Egypt, where the leaders were sitting like a puppet. Yeah, our leader was there sitting too. I don't think Trump knows his name, even his name, or who's he.
But he was a 20 seconds handshake, and he explained about the Cyprus problem.
Exactly, exactly. Huh? While also that wasn't shown in Cyprus, that part. But did you see how he praised Erdogan? What he said when he praised Erdogan? Yes. They put the President Christodoulos behind the Erdogan, and his face was very interesting to see. Trump said that, I guess I have one personality disorder. I like tough people than the soft ones, and I love Erdogan. I mean, he continued. Yes.
The macho guy, yeah.
The macho guy, and he was funny in saying that. Mm-hmm. And yes, that's a dangerous thing. The Trump seeing Cyprus and trying to.
Sorry, but there's a huge possibility.
Huge possibility
because of the natural resource.
Definitely. And 2 days ago, he wanted to appoint a new person to as an ambassador to Cyprus. As you know, Breslau. Breslau is a businessman, like a friend of him, like a Tom Barak that he sent to the Middle East, a businessman, just who doesn't know much, who just sees it as a business, he sees as a company whatever happening in the Middle East, and another businessman to Cyprus, and probably the Congress will approve those nominations, and we will have another businessman in Cyprus. And that's a dangerous situation. And we have a government and president who, the US president doesn't know where is Cyprus and who's this guy, but our government is a government at this moment obeys the United States and Atlanticist bloc. There is a dangerous situation, very dangerous situation happening.
And a comment about yesterday I had an interview with the Deputy Ambassador of Israel, and I asked her, since we become such a good friends lately, maybe it's time to have also a military alliance, because basically say I look around the area and beyond, you know, the things, and she knows very well, and they know very well about our point of view regarding Gaza, what they did. I mean, okay, it's a different subject now. But I say, okay, basically you can be the only alliance we have. Because we Greeks, yes, I'm Greek, we're feeling the way we feel, etc. But if we're talking about politics and the situation of the states, I really don't believe that the Greek state is going to do anything. If we're being attacked today, I don't think they're going to move their hand. Anyway, we have also the example on 74 what happened. So, what about maybe to formulate a military alliance with Israel? And she smiled to me, and they say, you know, nobody knows, but everybody needs also to take care about themselves. So, what do you think in general about, because we came closer to Israel. Yes, they value us, they say they value us like a partner, a solid partner, a solid friend. We help them, we give them any help. They help us with the fires. She mentioned also this, but it's true anyway. So, what do you think? Cyprus and Israel.
Israel. I talked about this many times in different podcasts as well, and I'm telling you as a not ideological point. I know Turkey's situation, Turkey's relationship with Israel very well. I will tell one simple thing for you, and this is not the thing that I say, and many people, analysts also say. Between Greece and Cyprus, there can be a war, but with Israel and Turkey, there cannot be a war. It's the relationship between Israel and Turkey is simple as that. Israel exists for Turkey, and Turkey exists for Israel. These states established by the British, both of them, just because of protecting each other in the region. They are the troublemakers in the region. They help each other. They have cultural ties as well. I don't want to get into that so much, but the people who established the Turkish state, I'm talking about the young Turks from Thessaloniki, most of them were Jewish. And most of them were, after the young Turks, they joined this.
Many people, they don't have a club, what we just said.
Yes.
And maybe they're going to be like, what?
Yes, I will give some names as well. I mean, so important. For example, the Ben Gurion, the father of the Israel state. He lived in Thessaloniki and he graduated in Istanbul University, and he was part of the Young Turk movement, and he learned developed his Zionist perspective from the young Turks. Ben Zvi, one of the most important Zionists, is the same, because they were living together with Ben Gurion. The most important person for Turkey who established the ideology of Turkism and forced Turkishness, you know, the program of forcing people to be Turkish, Turkification. He has a book called Turkification. Is a Moise Cohen, is a Jewish from Thessaloniki. So the Turkish state and Jewish state are the two states that is built on ideology, different than Greece and Cyprus and many other countries. These states are artificial, they have artificial national identities, and what bond their citizens together is the state with a state ideology, and they always work together. Let's think about recent events. This is a historical part of it. Let's look at last few years, what happened, what we see in the region. We see a few years ago Nagorno-Karabakh, what happened in the Artsakh, the massacres against the Armenians. Who were the sides over there? Azerbaijan, Israel and Turkey. They worked together against our Christian brothers, Armenia, and Armenia was with Iran, trying to resist to this. This happened while Netanyahu and Erdogan was saying all those shows, rhetorics against each other. What is happening right now? I mean, right now it stopped, but until recently, in Gaza, Turkey, just as a rhetoric, said that it stopped the trade relationships with Israel in May 2024. Do you know, in 2024, Turkey was the 5th biggest country that was doing trade with Israel. And the other 4th are the big countries like Germany, China, and United States. The 5th was Turkey. You know that. I think everybody right now knows that, but the energy of Israel, half of it comes from Azerbaijan. And it comes from Baku, Tbilisi, Ceyhan pipeline to Turkey, from Baku to Turkey, and from Adana it goes with the ships to Israel. So it is so delusional when I see Greeks and Cypriots who think that Turkey and Israel can have a problem. Turkey and Israel, if they even want a problem, they cannot have. One more thing, last thing. What happened in Syria? What happened in Syria was, again, the work of the same bloc. Turkey, United States, Israel. They got rid of the Assad, and it was advantage for all of them. They worked together in this as well. So people sees, it bothers me that the especially Cypriots, our people, is so much concentrated on symbols and myths than the real politics. Unfortunately, our politicians can use flags, empty rhetorics, photos, and change the narrative in the society, while the politics and the geopolitics continues to prove that we are going down. So again, I am repeating, and that's anybody, any political analysts all over the world can say that the Greece and Cyprus can go into a war, but Turkey and Israel cannot go to a war. That's even out of their hands. Even if they want, which they will never want, but even if they want, the US, the NATO would never allow that. The Turkey is part of NATO, the post of NATO in the Middle East, and Israel is the garrison of the United States in the Middle East. Simple as that. And these are the two troublemakers. If you take out Turkey and Israel from the Middle East, then Middle East is a heaven. You know, imagine the region without Turkey and Israel, and how it's going to be.
I'm sure you shocked a lot of people right now, but that's how it is. My last question is that you was announced yesterday. You are a parliamentary candidate with the Green Party of Cyprus. Tell me something about this.
Yes, as Union of Cypriots, our organization, we are a cooperating organization with Green Party. Our cooperation started before becoming official during the last year's European Parliament election. We participated in the European Parliament election with a common ballot, in a common ballot with the Green Party. But in a few months ago, we also made this cooperation with an officially, and our organization becomes the cooperating party and a cooperating organization to the party. And in this election, of course, this cooperation become tangible again with the the common candidate list. So that is the thing, because we share the same values with the Green Party. About the Cyprus issue, as you said, many political parties in Cyprus are going after a dead idea, a dead, long time dead ideas. But Green Party is almost the only political party who rejects going to dead ideas, and we have common perspective about also the environmental issues, also against corruption. So Green Party is our house right now, our home right now as Union of Cypriots, and in these elections we are gonna make this cooperation more tangible.
And what about your candidacy?
Yes, and part of that, of course, as party right now, we are slowly announcing our candidates, and this week I was one of the candidates who was announced.
Nice photo, by the way.
Thank you.
With handshake with Stavros Papadous.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think it's a classic.
Classic. Handshake. Okay.
Classic photo. Yes, and we are gonna also, as party, declare the other candidates in the following days, and next year, in few months, we are gonna be on the ballots in front of our citizens.
Okay, I have some news for you. It's going to be a spoiler, actually. Now, we'll be running a poll, and we had around more than 1,800 voters, which is like a number is quite enough. And there are going to be 8 parties in the new parliament, at least with this poll anyway. One of them is going to be the Green Party. And you have around 4.5%, which is, I think, is 3 MPs.
Yes. around it.
3 or 4, depends how it comes. So, what do you think about this news?
It is the news that we expect, but also it is important that we see these numbers even before we published any of our candidates and personalities. Actually, Green Party is right now starting the election period. Many other parties, they already started. I mean, they started publishing their personalities and names. So we believe that that number also will increase from the polls. Right now, we are in the same level as 2021. But we are hopeful that it's gonna be increased because we have very good ideas for the country. We have very good campaign preparations for the elections, and I think soon we are gonna see results of those as well.
All right. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your time. I wish you all the best for your campaign, and we want to have many opportunities to host you again.
Thank you very much.
Ευχαριστώ εσάς φίλοι και θεατές που είχατε το χρόνο και τη διάθεση να μας δείτε μέχρι την επόμενη φορά. Να είστε όλοι καλά. Γεια σας.